Most people ignore this about weight loss, and they end up paying a huge price for it. Are you in search of a miracle formula to lose weight fast and never have to worry about losing weight again? Nope, it's not Ozempic. And it's actually something that you already have available to you. Don't believe me? Well, then hear me out. Some things that I'm about to share and some examples I use in this video are from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. I'll leave the book linked down below in case you want to check the information from the source. My story began almost 4 years ago, when I was over 60 pounds heavier. I felt horrible. My self-esteem was pretty much non-existent. I felt so bad about my body and my appearance that no amount of makeup or cute clothes could make me feel pretty. And I just didn't want to leave the house because I didn't want anyone to see me. And this was my reality for years, until something happened and it completely changed my life. But before I tell you what happened, I must first explain to you that there are 3 ways to lose weight. And the third way is definitely the best and more sustainable way that led me to lose 60 pounds in only 3 months. When we have a goal in mind, like losing weight fast, we need to reorganize our lives in order to reach our goal. This means that our first approach should be to create new habits or new routines that allows us to succeed. And today, I really need you to understand that there are 3 different layers to that. The first layer is just creating a goal. This is very similar to the New Year's resolutions that people usually make at the beginning of a new year. You may say to yourself, this year I'll lose weight, or this year I'll be more healthy. So you start January by going to the gym every day and eating salads with every meal. 1 week goes by and you feel so tired that you start skipping the gym. And the salads give place to more comforting and convenient foods. Then it's suddenly November, and you completely forgot that you had these goals in the first place. Now you believe it's too late to start acting, because it's almost holiday season, and nobody can be healthy at Christmas, right? 'Tis the season to be jolly, not the season to sweat. So there you are at December 31st, making the same goals and the same commitments again for the next year. This happens because most of the time that we want to achieve a certain goal, we make a huge effort and end up relying completely on our willpower, which is not easy to maintain all the time, let alone for an entire year. Willpower is not like a muscle that the more you train it, the more it grows. But it is more like an emotion that is fleeting and depends on constant motivation. So it's clear that when we go through periods of stress, anxiety, or when we go through any negative emotions, we can't rely on willpower to help us do the things that we need to do. That's why New Year's resolutions usually don't work, because it's too hard to deny a tasty cheeseburger after a long, hard work day, or ignore the wish for ice cream and cookies after a breakup. We know that life can have a lot of difficult moments, and it's not realistic to expect that everything will go well all of the time. And the truth is that even if you have everything going well for a while and you are able to achieve some results, this system of just setting goals doesn't work, because eventually you'll end up slacking and gaining back all of the weight that you lost. So you need a method that doesn't rely on willpower alone. And this is exactly where the second layer follows. The second layer is the layer of habit creation through processes. This means changing processes that already exist in our current lives. You just tweak some habits that you already have to make them more aligned with your goals. It's easier to lose weight by being healthier because it is a consequence. So at this layer, you start taking healthy lunches to work, and you start walking to work because you already have to go to work anyway, so you might as well use that time to exercise. This is better than relying on willpower alone for a long time. But the problem with this is that when you go through something that takes you out of your routine, you might end up falling into old bad habits as a way to escape or because it's more convenient. And now it's important to understand that no layer excludes willpower. But the difference is in how easy it is to apply that willpower, whether you have a lot of it or very little. So the key is to automate your decisions. It's easier to say no to fast food because you're eating healthy now than to say no because you just want to lose weight. But still, the third layer is the best one. Because once you understand how this layer works, you can apply it for different areas of your life to achieve any goal that you have. And this is exactly what happened to me. Because after I lost those 60 pounds, I got pregnant and I had a baby, and I was able to lose all of the baby weight just by using the same method from this layer. So the third layer is the layer of identity. Here, your goal is almost to become someone else through a belief system. I'll explain a bit more about how to do this in a little. But for now, you just need to understand how it works. When you believe that you are skinny or a healthy person, you're not going to eat another slice of cake because you know that that's not what a healthy or a skinny person would do. The same way, if you believe that you're an athlete, you're not going to skip training because you know that an athlete wouldn't do that. And trust me, it's possible to lose up to 100 pounds just by asking, what would a skinny person do? This is key because you have to automate your answers according to who you are or who you believe you are, not according to your goals. As a more drastic example, let's say that there's two people who want to stop smoking. They have been smoking for 10 years and they haven't smoked for only 3 days. One of their colleagues offers them a cigarette. The first person says, "No, thank you. I'm trying to quit smoking." While the other says, "No, thank you. I don't smoke anymore." Both stopped smoking only 3 days ago. But which one sounds more convincing? The first person created a goal that relies solely on willpower, while the other one created a new identity that they're not a person who smokes anymore. And because of that, they don't need to think about it to decline the cigarette offer. They have made their decision already. But how can you create this new identity? And how can you know which identity to choose? For that, you must look at your goals with an objective perspective. If you say that your goal is to lose weight, then in reality, your goal is to become slimmer. So you need to adopt the identity of someone who's naturally slim, like a model or an athlete. Then, every time you have to face a situation that could impact your end goal, you ask yourself, what would that person do? Would that person eat more? Or would that person eat that? The second way you can do this is by creating your own persona, by imagining your ideal self. How would she look like? What would she choose to eat? What would she do daily? This is what worked for me. And I still do this to this day. Because honestly, this is a process. And the more I reach my milestones, the further I want to get. I'm not saying that you need to lose more and more weight, but we're always evolving. And there's always something that we can get better at. After losing 60 pounds, I realized that I still had some bad habits. So I decided to change that and lost even more weight since then. And I want to be clear that I'm not perfect by any means, but I am consistent. And it's easier to be consistent when your decisions are already automated and you don't have to rely on willpower alone to make things happen. I really hope that this message was clear enough to help you understand that you can't just have goals, but you need to become the person who achieves those goals. In my case, I had an issue in my stomach that forced me to adopt this new identity, the identity of someone who didn't want to feel pain anymore. So I cleaned my diet, stopped eating ultra-processed foods, and quit sugar, which led me to become healthier and lose all of that weight. But in the end, I really understood that I could just choose to become the person that I wanted to be. And the good news is that you can too. You can lose weight, you can change your life and become the person that you always wanted to be. And the best part is that this costs nothing. Well, at least financially speaking, because the only cost is the courage to be different. If this video helped you, please like it and subscribe to the channel to see more videos on this topic. Alright, that's it for today. I hope that this video blessed you and inspired you. I'll see you in the next one.